Remember all those fascinating things about space that captured your imagination as a kid? Well, hold on to your cosmic seatbelts, because today we're about to shatter some of those cherished beliefs. Get ready for a journey through the universe as we unveil the truths behind 13 mind-blowing cosmic misconceptions. Welcome to Science with Lou. In today's video, we'll be unveiling the truths behind some of the most popular space myths out there. Get ready for a ride through the universe as we dive deep into these 12 mind-blowing cosmic misconceptions. Myth 1. Saturn is the only ringed planet in the solar system. Sure, Saturn takes the spotlight with its spectacular rings, but did you know that it's not the lone ranger in this department? Other planets like Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune have their own ring systems, although they're a tad less flashy than Saturn's. We learned about these cosmic accessories when Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 dropped by in the 1970s and 80s. And here's a twist. Some scientists think Earth might have once flaunted its own set of rings, way back in the day. Myth 2. Black holes suck everything in. Black holes might sound like interstellar vacuum cleaners, but they're more like cosmic sinkholes. Get too close and you'll experience a rather unpleasant transformation into spaghetti-like strands. But don't worry, from a safe distance, the solar system keeps on its merry orbit. It just gets a little darker, that's all. These enigmatic celestial objects have such intense gravitational pull that not even light can escape their grasp, making them invisible to our telescopes and adding to their mystique. Myth 3. The moon has a dark side. Contrary to the popular notion of a dark side, the moon doesn't possess a permanently shadowed, light-deprived hemisphere. Instead, it has a far more complex relationship with Earth. This cosmic dance begins with the moon's synchronous rotation, a phenomenon known as tidal locking. Essentially, the moon rotates on its axis at the same rate it orbits our planet, creating a perfect cosmic harmony. As a result, it consistently presents one face to Earth, the familiar one we all recognize. But what about the hidden side? Well, it's not truly hidden, it's merely less frequently observed from our vantage point on Earth. The term dark side is somewhat misleading because, in reality, it experiences both day and night, just like the side facing us. This far side of the moon, as astronomers prefer to call it, has its own distinctive geological features, craters, and landscapes. It's not a barren wasteland, but rather a fascinating terrain that has piqued the curiosity of scientists and explorers alike. Myth 4. Nuking asteroids works great. Blowing up an asteroid with a nuclear bomb might sound like a blockbuster movie move, but it's not the smartest play here. Why? Because if you do that, you'll get a bunch of smaller asteroid pieces still zooming our way. It's like trying to fix a problem, but making it worse. A better game plan is to give the asteroid a nudge, not a big explosion. Think of it like a gentle push, like when you're trying to steer a shopping cart with a wobbly wheel. You nudge it at just the right spot and time, so it goes in a different direction. This way, we can keep our precious Earth safe without causing a big mess of asteroid pieces raining down on us. So instead of going all Hollywood with fireworks, we choose the smart, careful move of nudging the asteroid away. It's like a cosmic game of pool, where we use science and precision to make sure the asteroid won't mess with our planet. Myth 5. You can see stars from the moon. Sadly, the moon doesn't offer the same breathtaking starry nights as Earth. Astronauts who've been there report it's more like trying to stargaze in a brightly lit city. The moon is super reflective, bouncing sunlight around, which makes it a tough spot for stargazing. For a stellar view, you'd need to venture further into the cosmic abyss. Myth 6. You grow taller in space. While space won't permanently make you taller, astronauts can temporarily gain up to 2 inches thanks to reduced gravity. Their spinal vertebrae happily stretch out, but don't pop the champagne just yet. They'll shrink back to their regular height once they touch down on Earth. Firstly, on Earth, gravity exerts a constant force that keeps the vertebrae in our spines compressed together. This compression prevents our bodies from naturally expanding in height. However, in the weightlessness of space, where there is no gravity to keep the vertebrae compressed, they can naturally expand slightly, allowing a person to grow taller. Within just 1 month of being in a weightless environment, the human skeleton can fully extend, resulting in an increase in height by approximately 1 inch. This extended length of the spine contributes to the overall height gain experienced by astronauts. Additionally, when astronauts sleep at night in a horizontal position aboard spacecraft or space stations, their spines are not subjected to the constant vertical pull of gravity that they experience during their daily activities on Earth. This lack of gravitational force further allows the spine to stretch out, contributing to the height increase. An impressive example of this phenomenon is NASA's Scott Kelly, who grew an astonishing 2 inches in height after living aboard the International Space Station for nearly a year. However, it's essential to note that this growth is temporary, and astronauts typically return to their regular height once they re-enter Earth's gravitational field. So while space can temporarily make astronauts taller, it's a short-lived effect that eventually reverts upon their return to our home planet. Myth 7. You age slower in space. Einstein's time dilation theory, it's like a cosmic time warp, but don't get too excited. When you're cruising at ultra-high speeds, time does slow down a bit, but we're talking about speeds almost as fast as light itself. Imagine you're driving a supersonic spaceship and you're zipping around like a cosmic speedster. That's when you'd start to notice time acting a bit wonky. But here's the thing. With our current tech and everyday speeds, the time difference is so tiny, it's not even worth setting your cosmic alarm clock differently. So in your daily life, time dilation isn't something you'll need to lose sleep over. Myth 8. You can't cry in space. Yes, you can shed tears in space, but it's a unique experience. Without gravity pulling them down your cheeks, tears form watery blobs around your eyes. Cry a bit too much, and you might find yourself in a watery predicament. So while crying in space is doable, it's not ideal for maintaining clear vision. Before we move on to the next secret, if you're having a cosmic blast on this journey, remember to hit that subscribe button. More cosmic adventures await you. Myth 9. Martian dust storms break space equipment. Despite the Martian dust storms lacking the power to physically harm equipment, their ability to obscure solar panels and force rovers into power-saving mode poses significant operational challenges for missions on the Red Planet. This underscores the importance of careful mission planning and maintenance to ensure the longevity and effectiveness of equipment operating in the Martian environment. These Martian dust storms, while incapable of causing direct damage, highlight the need for proactive measures in mission design and maintenance. Rovers and other equipment must be equipped to endure and navigate these storms effectively to ensure the continued success of scientific exploration on Mars. Myth 10. Stars twinkle. Believe it or not, stars don't twinkle. It's just a charming illusion created by our atmosphere. When starlight traverses our air, it bends and scatters, making stars appear to shimmer. So, that nursery rhyme about twinkle, twinkle, little star? Well, it's not entirely on point. Myth 11. Asteroid belts are full of asteroids. In the movies, asteroid belts are portrayed as perilous zones where spaceships have to perform evasive maneuvers to survive. In reality, the asteroids in our solar system's asteroid belt, such as the one located between Jupiter and Mars, are indeed spread out over vast distances. On average, the distance between individual asteroids in this region can be quite substantial, typically ranging from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of kilometers apart. This wide spacing is a stark contrast to the common portrayal in movies, where asteroids are depicted as closely packed hazards requiring constant evasive maneuvers by spaceships. The odds of a collision between two randomly selected asteroids within the asteroid belt are exceedingly low, estimated at approximately 1 in a billion. Myth 12. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. You can't actually see the Great Wall of China from space without some extra help. Contrary to what many folks believe, it's not something you can spot with your naked eye from a low Earth orbit. This wall is pretty thin in comparison to the vastness of space. To get a peek at it, you'd need some specialized gear and super detailed pictures. It's like trying to find a tiny needle in a massive haystack. But if you're in the mood for spotting human-made stuff from space, other things like dams, bridges, or even city lights at night are way more noticeable. They're like the bright, flashy stars in the space viewfinder. Myth 13. Space battles have roaring sound effects. In most science fiction movies, space battles are depicted with epic explosions and the roar of spacecraft engines. However, in the vacuum of space, there is no air or medium through which sound can travel, which means there would be no sound in space battles as we hear them in films. In reality, space battles would be eerily silent, with no explosive booms or spaceship engine roars. Sound can only be transmitted through a medium like air or water, so in the vacuum of space, there's no medium for sound waves to propagate, making space battles a quiet and surreal experience. Some of these you might have already known, but some are definitely something you just found out today. It might be a bummer that these things aren't actually true, but don't fret. Space is still amazing and interesting. If you want to see more, consider clicking that thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel, and ringing the notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos on space.